So it's National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, and I just want to take the time to thank all those people that put themselves out there on the front lines in our country. And my first experience with a law enforcement person was when I was just a little kid, probably 5, 6 years old. My dad, I don't know, my mom and dad were divorced really early, and I don't even know what happened to him. I'm not laughing, I just don't know. But it's um, my mother had a good friend, her best friend, uh, her, my mother's best friend's husband was a U.S. Deputy Marshal. And he was, his name's Steve Norwood. I'll just go ahead and give him a shout out. One of the best U.S. Deputy Marshals ever. And he was a part of the Big Brother. I don't know if he did it just for us. I think he probably just did it for us because he spent so much time with us. I mean, it seemed like almost every weekend we were either hunting or fishing or doing something. He introduced me to firearms and fishing and hunting, and just was you know, he was always kind of a mysterious guy, like U.S. Deputy Marshals are. And excuse me, this winter always drives me out, and I can't breathe. But anyway, this dry heat that we have, I'm used to the high humidity. But anyway, so he was a great guy. I mean, again, that was back in the revolver days. That was back in the Dirty Harry days, where he would pull out this hand cannon, when we were at the range. We used to have a range here that was like a dump. It was a dump. It wasn't a range, okay? So this was back before public ranges. I'm 55, so this was, almost 50 years ago. And I was about 7, I guess. And so when he was our big brother all the way, I mean, really through life. If I saw him, sorry, I choked myself up there. I was going to say he came to my brother's funeral even. So anyway, that's a long story. Anyway, lifelong, mentor. And so I always had a high esteem. Excuse me. I always had a high esteem for law enforcement people because they just, he was like the quintessential, perfectionist when it came to shooting and fishing, hunting. Everything had to be just right. You had to use just the right firearm, just the right caliber. Everything was just, just the right lure for just the right fish. He had a technique for catching every different fish there was. And I'm sure all the anglers out there know what I'm talking about. And all that kind of got lost a little bit on me because when we became teenagers, like 18, 19 years old, we kind of lost touch with them a little bit. But all that history, that 10 years or so that we spent with him, really was a huge deal for me and my brother. And so anyway, and then, not just then. I mean, I've known many people in law enforcement over my lifetime, and they're all just super good people. Here recently, Alex ran his car in a ditch. I wasn't supposed to tell this story, was I? And it was way out, almost, the range. Our rifle club's like 20 some odd miles away, and he was on that road that goes to the rifle club. And he had a friend out there that lived out there, and he was going out there that night. And I knew I had a bad feeling. It's funny how parents have these bad feelings, because that road has no shoulder. I mean, you glance at your phone for a second, and your tire just hits the edge of the road, and you're down. You're in the ditch. So he actually went in the ditch and came back out, tore out the back end of his car, And so I get there, first of all, I made sure Alex was okay when I talked to him on the phone. So here I am hightailing out there, almost probably got a speeding ticket on the way out there. And when I get there, I pull up behind the cops, and there's one in front of him and one behind him, protecting him. And I get out and I was like, is he okay? Because I saw them first. There were guys, cops behind him and in front of him. And I said, is he okay? And they were like, yeah, he's fine. And they were all just kind of smiling and laughing. And I said, okay, he must be okay. And they said, he's really nervous. And I said, well, this is his first wreck. He's a good kid. He's a straight A student. He's, just a good kid. There's, I'm sure he just took his eye off the road for a second. And so they were just really nice about it. They didn't cite him. There was another car involved, and they helped us, keep him safe, because this road is bad. Okay, there could have very well been another accident, but they did a good job. They were really nice. This was the county sheriff's department, and just really, when have I ever had a bad experience with law enforcement? I think, you kind of have to get on the bad side of the law to have a bad experience. That's been my life experience. So, and every time I see a police officer or anybody, that's involved with law enforcement, I always say, hey, thanks. Always, if they're at a distance, I salute them or something. And so anyway, happy Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, all you guys, and we appreciate it. And you don't get enough appreciation, I'm sure, especially on the internet, where all the wackos hang out. And but I just want you to know that there are plenty of us out here that do appreciate it. Thanks a lot.